So this is our guy now, or at least potentially our guy, huh? Well, I mean, and I'm not mad at it, don't get me wrong, I just, geez, we really could have waited. I mean, and I get there are people out here who are wanting to talk about, you want to let him know that he's our guy, let's get him now while it no, 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 it couldn't be so far aside from the point. And if you didn't see the last video where I went on about the shocker of the night where Michael Penix went to the Atlanta Falcons, yeah, now we're gonna get it full blown here. Alright, let me just actually be real about this. I'm glad it's Bo Nix, actually. I really am. I'm sorry to fuck with a J.J. McCarthy. I take nothing away from him. I'm pretty sure at some point he'll prove to be a hell of a quarterback. Maybe, we'll see. Depends on how he's developed in Minnesota, and I think they have the means to do that. It's just, we didn't need to do this now. We didn't need to do it at 12. There was an opportunity to trade back for additional picks, most notably with the Philadelphia Eagles, where we'd have gotten a second and a fifth. Some people are talking about we'd have even gotten a third too, but that's, I'm not going to speculate all that. And with the way a lot of things ended up unfolding, that price tag probably went down even more and more. And with the way things seem to have unfolded, I think that's probably all the more reason the Broncos just, Sean Payton, George Payton and all them just hung up the phones after a certain point. Probably even after 10 when the Vikings swapped with the Jets to one spot to get McCarthy. Like, they were probably getting a lineman anyway. They got an offensive tackle. Okay, anyway, I mean, I don't really particularly have that much of a problem with it. It's just a matter of, I really feel like, pardon me as I'm doing this here, I just gotta get things more corrected here, but I really feel as if you trade down to, say, maybe even not so much 22, maybe 19 perhaps with the Rams, which is what a couple of people actually talked about. You still have an opportunity to pick him up. You get pick 52, maybe even something else, because, the Rams are all about giving up them picks. But, I feel like you blew an awful lot of opportunities to just add to a lot of other needs. Yes, quarterback is a very, very important need. I'm not going to take anything away from that. I'm not going to deny that. But the problem I have with that is when we got guys like this right here that could add to a front seven that is certainly going to be in desperate need of someone like that now. I mean, fortunately this is a deep enough draft to where, who knows, maybe we actually get back in the second round. There's talk about Cortland Sutton possibly being moved. I'm assuming that's going to be to the Giants. I'm sure they got a second rounder they're willing to part ways with, so maybe that's what we do. I don't know. Or maybe that's what we see. It's really hard to say at this point. I mean, I'm thinking about guys like Jared Verse, Lalu, I'm sorry, I'm going to call him Latu, but either way, I think a lot of people thought if the Broncos didn't go quarterback, this was going to be the guy, wrong way, this was going to be the guy that we were going to be rolling with here. That was a pretty significant expectation for a while, but that wasn't the case. I mean, which that's fine. I mean, there's only so much that can be said about that. And then, of course, Dallas Turner, who I really would have liked to have seen. I mean, he was actually the best player on the board when the Broncos were at 12. So if that tells you anything, I mean, That just goes to show how badly Sean Payton wanted this dude. And it was even read from a tweet. I want to say it was Daniel Jeremiah that said it, and I'm going to paraphrase, but apparently they had the workout with Bo Nix. The night before, Sean Payton sent him all sorts of stuff. Might as well have been the playbook. Basically, it was homework. This dude, Bo Nix, smashes said homework. And, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much that. The rest is history. And he's over here on McAfee talking about it and everything. And, again, I respect the decision to do it. I was going to be fine with Nix. I'm actually fine with it being a quarterback as long as it wasn't J.J. McCarthy. I'm sorry. Those of you that were hung up on him, I'm sorry. You're never going to ever convince me as to why that was, because that just, to me, that screams desperation way worse than even this does. And that's really all this is. I'm sorry. You can be mad at me for this all y'all want. And y'all have actually come across, maybe not so much mad, but just, y'all have had your reactions about it on Twitter, X, however you want to refer to it, and that's fine, but there's no ifs, ands, or buts around it. Y'all are just desperate. And I'll just leave it at that. I'm not going to harp on y'all too much. But at the end of the day, this is where it's in Payton we trust like a motherfucker right now, because this is what we're doing. This is what we're doing here, And I'm good with it. I'll be good with Bo Nix. He's definitely the best fit for a Sean Payton scheme, so I'm going to be okay with it on that. It's just forsaking so many other needs just doesn't strike me as it. But, we're supposed to be struggling this upcoming season anyway, so why the fuck not, right? Why the fuck not? Well, either way, I'm just gonna, again, go back into the more optimistic side about it. And I said it before, between Bo Nix and Jaden Daniels, I've actually got a history watching quite a bit of both of them. Particularly in their first collegiate stops, Auburn and ASU respectively, especially Jaden Daniels in ASU, given that I was living in Arizona nearly a couple of years ago. So I have really strong familiarity with that situation. But Bo Nix, I was fortunate enough to see quite a few Auburn games, and I liked a lot of what I saw. Now, it's really interesting because you see him not all that long ago on the RG3 podcast, and he's talking about his experience with Auburn versus his experience with Oregon, and of course I'm paraphrasing this too, but he talked about how, if you got a coordinator who, and I feel like this is what he got a lot of at Auburn, but if you got a coordinator that's telling you got to do an awful lot of improvising throughout the game, that guy's not going to be a coordinator for long, which is probably true. And especially in the NFL, you're just not going to be able to survive doing all that. I mean, for as much as it disgusts me to say this, as great as Pat Mahomes has been over the years, with the shit that he's pulled, I mean, he's had to elevate and evolve his game so much more and more over time, just to be able to, produce on a level that is conducive to what you see with the Chiefs, being a now 4-time Super Bowl champion, 3 in the last, 4 years, I think it is? Yeah, 3 in the last 4 years. So, I mean, it just goes to show, but I feel like I saw a lot of those things with Nix, and he looked just as impressive doing it as Mahomes would have, and I just felt like that was good. Now, do you want to have to see a whole lot of that? No, but just the fact that he's real sharp in the pocket, he reads defense as well, amongst a lot of other things, and he's a hell of an athlete considering, I feel like we can't go wrong, but we certainly could have done better. And that's really where I'm at on that. But y'all let me know what y'all think. Y'all have already been talking about